Well, hello, hello, hello. I wanted to give a little explanation about the book of Joshua because it's about this timeline that we really start getting specific dates through archaeology and all that. I mean, we have dates that we put down for the books before, but this is when we really start getting dates because the book of Judges is next, and a lot of people have dug up archaeology that a lot of this had happened through what they call United Kingdom and all that. But anyways, the book of Joshua is the sixth book in the English Old Testament. It is the first book of the second division of the Hebrew Old Testament. So it is the prophets. The book is named after, of course, Joshua, Moses' successor. So the authorship and date of it, like I had said, the former prophets are all anonymous. That doesn't mean, or that means that no author is mentioned in this book. We know that Joshua, rewrites he did write down the laws on which the covenant renewal that was based in Joshua chapter 24, verse 26. We know he wrote that, but there's really no author mentioned throughout the Bible. So really, Joshua, we can kind of just, we know it's a book about him. We don't really know he wrote it, though. But also, the biggest thing about it, the contents of the story, to explain it a little bit before we finish the book of Joshua Bible study. This won't be a very long video. The book of Joshua tells the story of the significant Bible events that happened, the conquest of the land of Canaan. It tells the story in the light of the theological, historical books of like Deuteronomy and all that, and then it goes continued after Joshua into Judges, Samuel, 1st, 2nd Samuel, 1st, 2nd Kings. A lot of people in colleges and all that call it the Deuteronomic history. It's basically because it's the covenant renewal, in Deuteronomy. So there's really three ways to break it down. The conquest of the land is chapters 1 through 12. The settlement of the land is 13 through 22. And Joshua's farewell addresses is in chapter 23 and 24. It's a very short book out of the Bible compared to most, but the book of Joshua standardizes the conquest stories to some extent. For example, the accounts are from the standpoint of the general who led the entire nation, whereas the book of Judges is more from the standpoint of a foot soldier who did the actual fighting. It's really cool if you think about it when you're reading these next two books, because Judges come next. The surface reading of book of Joshua would give impressions that the invasion was complete and final. However, there is numerous passages, Joshua chapter 13, verse 13, 15, verse 63, chapter 16, verse 10, chapter 17, verses 12 through 13, and chapter 16 through 18. These agree with the book of Judges to show that it was up to the individual clans to root out many pockets of Canaanite resistance still scattered throughout the land. But really, the nature of the book of Joshua is the nature of the covenant in the book of Joshua is the Lord's covenant with his people was always more universalistic and inclusive than we usually realized. The Israelites have been through a lot with God by this point. They have made him mad and made him happy a lot of times by this point. But it's really, there's holy wars that is happening through the book of Joshua. The Hebrews did not divide life into sacred and secular spheres as we do at this time. They didn't divide everything up like that. To them, all life was holy in a sense that it was lived under the direction of the Lord. They saw the Lord at work on behalf of his people in every area of life. Thus, the soldiers were holy. They were under strict religious regulations at this time. They had religious ceremonies performed for them at battles in chapter 5, verses 2 through 11. Just everything was a lot different. They were a lot closer to God, I feel, than our generations are. Not saying that we're not close to God, but I just feel that we are not as close as they are if you really listen to these amazing stories. So I just wanted to give a little bit of that. Part 2 of Joshua Bible Study will be coming out probably next week sometime soon. I've already got it done, and actually almost part 3 done. It's a very quick book, like I had said. So I just wanted to give a little rundown about that, guys, about the book of Joshua. And God bless you guys. The last time I did this, I explained a little bit about Moses and Aaron. So I felt that this was a key point to maybe, it's been a few months since I've had to do something like that, to add a little educational thing like this in there. So God bless you guys.